One, two, three. Today I'm joined by a truly inspiring guest, James Nyabera, a passionate mental health advocate, lived experience champion, and a founder of A Man Must Cry. He's an author of A Man Must Cry, a movement dedicated to promoting emotional well-being and creating safe spaces for men and boys. This is Reflective Gap. This is our podcast, and I'm your host today, Jen Grace. Um, Welcome, James, to Reflective Gap. Could we just ask a few things? Could you just tell me a bit about yourself, first of all?
All right. Thank you so much, Jean Grace, for having me today on Reflective Gap podcast. Just to share with us a noble cause that is very, very close to my heart. So I go by James Nyabera. I'm a mental health advocate and a lived experience champion and a founder of A Man Must Cry mental health movement. A movement that was born out of my lived experiences with mental health, learned and shared just to champion, advocate, and promote men's emotional well-being and mental health support back here in Kenya, Africa. And just looking forward for a very insightful session ahead today. Thank you.
That's brilliant, James. Can it's just the title, "The Man Must Cry"? Even the name itself challenges so much what society teaches men about emotions. Can you take us back to where it all began and what inspired you to start this movement?
All right. Thank you so much for that brilliant question. Because I'll say mental health wasn't my career choice. It was personal lived. Because growing up in a family whereby silence was the language of suffering. And just seeing my dad, a man I truly admired most, struggle with mental health challenges, depression, call it. This was just after losing his job. A man that society expected to be strong, but behind the doors, he was truly breaking. So after that, he also passed away. So after passing away, also like I witnessed or watched my mother also like fell into spiral of depression after losing the man of her life. And as a kid growing up, I didn't truly understand what was happening because mental health conversation wasn't something that we can talk about or normalize within our family or in African context, especially for men, until the year 2017. Because having grown into these spaces and just watching my dad first struggle with depression, also my mom, and I also being like a firstborn within the family, I was now to be strong for my mom, for my siblings, and behind the doors, I was also breaking in silence. So I struggled so much with a storm or a pain that I didn't truly know the name to give it until the year 2017, way back in the college, is when I admitted that I'm truly going through something and I'm here to get to know what is it that I'm really struggling with. Is when I made that bold step just to go talk to a psychologist just to share my childhood experiences and where I am at the moment. So by that time, that's when I was diagnosed by childhood trauma and function depression. Because behind my quiet personality and academic focus, I used to hide my pain through just sharing my kindness, my warmth with people, and just focusing on like my studies and stuff like that. not knowing I was also like struggling when I'm alone. So after taking that bold step just to go check and find or to get the name of the pain I was carrying. So after that is when I started to embrace this healthier coping mechanism. And the first step that I made was to volunteer within the Rotary spaces as a community service leader. From there, I used to serve others. So I used to find solace or peace or healing through serving others. So by doing that, I was also like breaking in silence because I also needed like a place whereby I can pour into myself. That's when I found I encountered a program within our church setup called Man Enough, like a transformation platform that was created to empower men in their 21st century. So from there, I decided like with all these experiences that I've gained, both lived experiences with mental health, learned experiences with mental health, and shared experiences with mental health, I can, like create something that I can use to champion for men's emotional well-being and mental health support. And that was the genesis of A Man Must Cry. So I decided like I can start by just writing a book talking about my lived experiences with mental health, learned and shared, just to disrupt the harmful cultural norms or the traditional norms that equate masculinity with emotional silence, so that we can break the stigma that surround men not to be talking about their mental health challenges. So from there, beyond a book, I decided like I can also like make it to be a movement, a mental health movement, whereby we join effort as the storytellers, those with the lived experiences with mental health, so that we can champion, advocate, and promote men's emotional well-being back here in Kenya and across Africa and globally. Because the name itself spark conversation around. People will just post like A Man Must Cry, and from there it just invites a conversation. I mean, around men's mental health, and that was the genesis and the inspiration behind coming up with this A Man Must Cry mental health movement back in Kenya.
Wow, wow, that's brilliant. So your message is also highlighting the need for vulnerability. It seems to be at the heart of your message. Yet it's something so many men fear. How did you learn to embrace vulnerability as a strength rather than a weakness?
All right. First of all, I personally being vulnerable is by first watching my dad struggle in silence and I not being in a position to even understand, is it like a mental health kind of condition or is it a witchcraft or something of the sort? Then I was like starting to, have that kind of self-awareness, like, why do I need to feel like this? And when I'm feeling like this, what or where is the right place I can go and expose it or just release it? And that's when I started to, gain courage. Because for you to be vulnerable, you need courage, strength, and you need to be assured of a safe space for you just to release and connect with those who
Mm.
truly understand your pain. And that's when I decided, like, okay, this is me. It is okay. I'm a human being. I accept that, and I can't deny my problems or my pain. So I just need to be vulnerable, because vulnerability is not weakness. It is a sign of strength. It is a sign that you are human being and you have freedom to fully feel that you are a human being. So that's when I made that bold step despite of stigma, like people will label me like James, you're going for a therapy or stuff like that, like you're weak or you are lazy, something like that. Keeping in mind, I'm the one in charge of my mind. So me making that bold step, I found it so healthy and very helpful because through I taking that bold step, it also like inspired many people within my circle to start now, opening up, talking about their struggles with mental health. And I find peace, I find comfort seeing many men or boys just reaching out in terms of like, this is me and this is what I'm currently going through, or just someone just calling me like, James, I know so and so is struggling with, let me say, a mental health condition, and I think you're in a position to, you know, just share your story with them so that they can find that courage for them to be vulnerable moving forward. And I'm proud to say that through the inception of a Man Must Cry mental health movement, we have witnessed like a lot of men who couldn't like thought of, visiting, let me say, the mental health clinics, starting to reach out, starting to join us to be part of this
Mhm.
noble cause. Because we also do embrace what we call monthly healing walk, whereby we have seen also like many men and women joining us to be part of the global community in terms of just creating awareness, creating safe spaces whereby, boys and men just have a conversation. We do like also work with women because they're like our sisters, our mothers, our daughters. They also need to understand men's perspective when it's come to mental health, and also just creating that safe spaces for us to be accepted the way we are, so that we can feel we have like a complete kind of an ecosystem that truly supports us emotionally moving forward.
Mm, mm, definitely. Mm. So, do you find storytelling to be powerful but also draining? The fact that you're reliving your story constantly to helping people, also helping yourself. But there's this element of, exhaustion. How do you deal with that?
All right. I believe that the story has power to heal us fast and also heal those around us. But I do leverage on, you know, just journaling or even just drafting something or an article, then share it out with people because it's capture like my lived part, so that someone can, relate with we relate with James before they get the deeper meaning that I'm trying to convey. And also
Mm,
just within the spaces I do find myself. Like let me say when I'm visiting my barber, we just, story tell and through storytelling, I take advantage of just, initiating a meaningful mental health conversation. I'll ask like my friend, like, how are you doing? How is your family? How is work? For the past 1 week, how are things? So we try to dig deeper into, you know, we don't just have a surface conversation. When we are, let
mm,
me say, joining sport activity, we also do initiate, or I do initiate just a meaningful, mental health conversation. I also take advantage of the peer groups,
mm,
the worship places, schools, and also
mm,
like the webinars and like just the online platform just to, invite people just to share. Because through sharing you get to connect. And through
mm,
connecting, you find someone who can also help you navigate your mental health journey. Because it's like a shared responsibility moving forward. And through storytelling, because even I do say like, okay, okay, I was reading something on LinkedIn. Like you see, the UN normally do a very very good report, right? But
mm,
how many people are truly reading this report? If at all now we adopt a way that we can be like, let me say, communicating or this report to speak the language of the audience that
yes.
we trying to address. it will be good. And we need to take advantage of like podcasts. Let me say you as Jean Grace, sorry, you go through, let me say, the report and you understand it and you contextualize it in a way that it will speak the language of the community or the people you are serving. So you are trying to make it easy for them to understand it and like just leaving it the way it was written by the professors, because not everyone has achieved that kind of high level education, right? So it is us now to to be so creative on how we deliver this kind of reporting moving forward. We can take advantage of storytelling. I'll read something like, what, this is what is happening globally. And when we take this particular route, we can end up achieving something that is very impactful and meaningful to the people we train or we are trying to serve.
Definitely, definitely. It's powerful. I've actually found that in myself, the actual kind of like the empowerment of storytelling and sharing it with people is just amazing, because we can all resonate with each other in some way or another. And like you say, I like the way that you're saying that you can break it down for someone else to understand it as well. I like that. Do you notice the generational culture difference of mental health? And what have you kind of like, has there been any barriers with some of the older people, especially the older men, on talking about mental health?
All right, exactly. That's a very good question because I'll say we have a big gaps when it's come to like intergenerational kind of aspect of understanding mental health because okay, so we still have this kind of, how do you call it, the colonized minds for the older generation. They still some still
Mm,
don't have a mental health literacy or the basic mental health first aid kind of training for them just to get to understand like what are the common
mm,
indicators of mental health. And I think for us to bridge that gap, we need to have youth and all generation being part of the holistic approach when it's come to addressing mental health challenges, whereby when it's come to things like designing mental health programs, we need to have like those kind of
mm,
intergenerational collaboration where we have youth and us older generation. Now,
mm,
like now, youth comes in with their creativity or innovation, right? And the older generation come in with their expertise. Like this is how we understand it. But for us, this is how we think. When we design this particular program, it will truly, let me say, reach out to many, many people within the community that we are going to serve. Because I do say
mm,
it is high time we stop thinking about how many psychiatrists do we have per capita, right? But to start to think about how many community members that we have empowered just to make sure like this kind of mental health services or intervention truly reach to that particular person who is in the village, who doesn't even know more about mental health, things like a depression or anxiety. So we need to like, cause I do say we believe that when we truly want like the mental health services or intervention to truly help and work for the people that we are truly serving, we need to take all these services where people are. And where do you find people in the community? So we need to take advantage of, schools, homes, worship places, this kind of the
mm,
social creative hubs, the peer groups,
mm,
because institutional based kind of care truly has this thing we call like we call the stigmatization. And also it just reinforces like or worsen the recovery process. Because treating, like, let me say, the mental health kind of participant in asylum just doesn't truly help, because you are disconnecting this particular person, let me say, from the support system. Because for you to truly heal, you need to have like a complete kind of a cycle whereby, let me say, I'm James, a participant who is truly going through mental health illness, right, or a condition. When I'm at the center, I need to get support from my family, from the community, from the professional, and from the peer support groups. So that is like an holistic approach, so that it is all overlapping. I can I'm anchored onto many things. Like if I need the support from the family, I'll get it. If I need like that kind of social belonging, I'll get it from the community, right? If I need support from the professional, I'll get it. If I need support from the peer support groups, I'll get it. So that we have the holistic approach and we involve each and everyone to be part and parcel of, designing all these kind of programs whereby we have youth, we have the older generation, we have even the faith actors, we have traditional healers, the local leaders, we have parents and teachers, so that no one is left behind when it comes to matters mental health literacy and how we can deliver them to our people within the community.
Yeah. Mm. What same kind of question with young people, schools and things like that, especially boys, teenage boys, where they're very kind of like impressed and they kind of like had this thing where they quite show off quite a bit. How do you approach mental health with them?
All right, with young people, my approach, as a man prescribed mental health movement, we do believe that we need to like we do design our programs to truly speak the language of youth and the culture of healing, because we need to understand
Mm,
like what, first of all, we need to know what is attracting youth. Let me say, if we plan for, let me say, a walk, we see youth like such kind of outdoors activity. So when we get the number
mm,
there, we also like initiate a meaningful mental health conversation, because I do say we work for that young boy in the community who still grows up with a locked up heart. We also work for that young man who still find it hard to express his emotion. Also, we also work for that friend or a family member that we know who is living with mental health condition, but still shies off, still feels like when he comes out, he'll be labeled weak or he will be mocked. So we do have such
mm,
those kind of activities like the sports as well, because it attracts youth, and we just have like a meaningful mental health conversation. We take advantage of this kind of artwork. This we normally do it through partnership with other organizations that are truly working on art therapy, so that we target
mm,
youth. Yeah, and also these like the cinemas, the creative hubs, and the community, the social community spaces within also the border stages, because that's where also you get good number of youth, and we just like tailor our mental health services or intervention just to meet their needs, and through
mm,
that we normally get like some good feedback from them. Like now they are developing uh, healthy seeking kind of behaviors moving forward, and it's truly communicate that we are on the right track, and this job is truly needed, and this movement is truly creating that impact that the community need to see, not just the services, because at the end of the day is the impact,
mm,
so that through my story
mm,
someone can get help, and when they get help they can like continue with with the chain of, creating that awareness, inspiring others to come out and just to talk about their mental health challenges. So we have a very, very well structured models that truly communicate and the approaches that we want to take. How do we gain the entry? Let me say we want to work with um, with school, and in school setups is where you get a good a good population of youth. So from there now we are working on launching a man must cry apps within the school. It is something I'm truly following up just for us to get the approval so that we can launch those kind of apps within the school setups and take advantage of the teachers who have been trained on the counseling psychologists also to be part of we train them, then now they champion, they become our champions in terms of delivering these mental health services to the youth within the school spaces. And even within the community, we work closely with the focal points within the community. We identify those who are so passionate about mental health. We take them through, the basic mental health kind of training, and now they can use that to empower others to show up and talk about their mental health issues. Within the church, we are also in communication with two churches just to find how best we can also integrate it within the churches so that we don't just preach gospel. Apart from or beyond preaching the gospel, we also have a mental health kind of session after, let me say, the service, so that youth can also be part of,
Mm.
the mental health kind of awareness and training, and through that, we'll get a good feedback that will compile our report, the annual report that we normally do annually, and this will inform what next when it's come to when we start to solicit for funding, because now we have an evidence kind of thing that communicate the work that we've been doing as a man must cry mental health movement.
Mm. Mm. I like that. So, on funding and things like that, what is the government like with mental health in Kenya? Are there many funding hubs? Are there opportunities for different mental health organizations?
All right, I'll say, okay, that's a very, very thought-provoking question, because I think 2 days ago we were talking about it with some of my friends, because if you see mental health is underfunded within, because I think it's just less less of 2% or 1% national budget that is being channeled to mental health. So for us, like a community kind of driven initiative, we don't get resources from the government. So for now, what we are doing is just self-sustaining, whereby we do sell our merchandise, and also just through the, let me say, the donors contribution. Like, let me say someone is just willing to support the cause, and members contribution. But actually we are doing poorly when it's come to financing this community-led initiative. And I think it is something our government should look into thoroughly, and to think about when they truly want to help our people. They need to think about bringing all these kind of community-based initiative on board when it's come to policy formulation, so that each and every, let me say, community-led organization can give their own perspective on how they understand, let me say, the root causes of mental health at a grassroots level, because we are
Mm.
the one who work with the community. So what we get, let me say, within the community or from the people in the community, the lived truth that we need to work with, not basing our fact on textbooks or manuals. We need to be so realistic and based our facts on the lived truth, on the findings that we are getting on the ground, and also like have that kind of co-creation whereby we are also part and parcel of the policy formulation because we truly understand our people deeply so that we can switch from the top-down kind of approaches that doesn't work, but we focus on the community-led initiatives moving forward.
There's a do you find there's this situation where, say, like where the trauma started, there's this silence and don't let's not speak about it. And then when, the older generation getting older and it's been knocked down, let's not speak about this, let's not speak about this. So when it's, say, like for your age and the younger people, it's very hard for them to put into words what they're being told not to speak about.
Yes, I do find it that way, but it's also like high time we need to do more of sensitization,
Yeah,
whereby we
yeah.
take them through the importance of jazz, you know, also helping to pass their wisdom to the younger generation that it is
Mm,
okay to feel the way you are feeling. It is okay to seek for, let me say, support within your trusted circle so that they can also
yeah,
like be part of the champions. Because this model I was trying to, to work on, whereby we need to be involving like the grandmothers and the grandfathers to be part of to be part of the healing work of the community. We just set up, let me say, a man must cry safe space or a man must cry safe bench, right? And we
mm,
do it like I'll say over the weekend, and we just identify those passionate you know grandfathers or grandmothers in the community. Then we just empower them. After empowering them, then we try how best we can facilitate them to be part of ambassadors who are actors. So now people will just know, like, let me say, each and every Saturday at this particular time, if I want to release or talk about my problem, I know where to go. And when I go there, I'll meet, let me say, a
mm,
grandmother or a grandfather who has been empowered, who has wisdom, will just listen, not even to fix my problem, will just offer that as a shoulder to lead on. Because these three things that matters when it's come to life, like your possession
mm,
and I'll say your position as well, and how positive you are in terms of just being there for people, because your position can help you help someone. You can know someone who is doing something, and through that you can be in a position to refer, right? And you just being present also, just being present. You don't need even to fix anything, but just be
mm,
present. It also like communicates empathy and that sense of belonging, and also just your possession. You can be having something that can help someone get help in terms of you can facilitate for, let me say, to pay for that kind of or to pay for that young man or that young lady in the community who can't afford, let me say, therapy to cater for them, and that you'll be like doing a very good work when it's come to just empowering them moving forward.
mm, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What are the most memorable conversations you've had through this movement?
Wow, all right, that's a good one. I do talk about it every single day, and since the inception of a man must cry mental health movement, I've had many good opportunity and memorable moments whereby I've been I've been recognized by these, world class, I'll say, the media platforms just to talk about it. I've been part of the UN high level meeting, just also contributing towards you know, uh, towards a concept that was truly accepted and embraced fully. Just having like the people with the lived experiences also centered to be part of, healing or in terms of mental health service delivery. I think that was the biggest achievement globally. And within our space in Kenya, I've also have had an opportunity to, be part of our media platform, doing the media runs, creating awareness, this on televisions, on the radio station, and just a week ago, I was part of the fourth nation mental wellness and counseling conference that
Mm,
attracted over 5 million people. And I was
fantastic.
among the 20 speaker who are delivering a keynote kind of speech when it's come to, impressing people with the lived experiences to be centered, also to bring the holistic kind of healing. And it is something for the book. And I'm also here just to appreciate my manager who is also closely working with me just to make sure like we are getting this job done. We are doing it day and night just to make sure like this vision is active, is going. We are creating awareness, sensitization, and onboarding members, those who want to be part of the movement as ambassadors and actors to help us scale up the vision and the mission of the initiative. So I'll say it's quite memorable that we have achieved a lot so far, and our reports also communicate for us. And on our social media platform also, we have also crafted things that we've been doing since the inception of a man must cry mental health movement back here in Africa, and we're just looking forward to ways whereby we can start to collaborate or partner with some of the global bodies, and also just
Mm,
how to to get funds for us to initiate some other programs that truly need money. And when I talk about
mm,
money we need to have, because money will lead to staff, and if we have staff, will deliver to the people we are serving. So it's like an opportunity we also need to leverage on and see how best we can start to attract funders moving forward. Because at the moment we have ongoing activities, but we sustain them by members' contribution and also those who are willing to just support the cause moving forward. But a lot need to be done in terms of, how do we mobilize for resources moving forward for us just
mm,
to keep going, keep our
mm,
traction, and keep our impact communicating.
mm, mm. So, one of the things, how do you remind yourself that vulnerability is a form of strength, not weakness, when you're working so hard to achieve such a amazing goal? That constant reminder to you that your vulnerability is a form of strength, not weakness. How do you remind yourself?
All right, that's a good one. First of all, I do a lot of mindfulness activity and also just practicing self-awareness and gratitude. Cause like this vision is bigger than I. Sometimes I'm like, can I do it? And when I start to, doubt myself, I do practice gratitude, like whatever small things that I've achieved since the inception, or I just being like, hey, I'm vulnerable today. I truly need support moving forward. I have this kind of an idea. I don't want to be mean with it, but this how I'm finding it moving forward. So I also being vulnerable in terms of, exposing like I'm not getting this concept today. How best
Mm,
can I approach it? And I truly appreciate like the manager I'm truly working on with closely just to see this thing moving forward because I'm so vulnerable. We are so vulnerable, and we have our safe space whereby we just like sometimes we just come up with an idea or we think like this idea suit this particular community that we are going to like help. And from there, we say, how do we go about it? And after
Mm.
that, we'll start to know, think through it, think through the idea until we get the tangible solution on the best way to approach it. And it is something that has really showed me potential that it is a learning in process, and learning is a shared responsibility. No one is perfect. So we keep on just like, hey, today I'm not really getting this concept. What
Definitely.
if you go through it and just understand it and guide me accordingly moving forward? And that's a sign of strength. And through that, you are getting the necessary help that you need moving forward.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, yeah. I love that. Love that. Right, James, finally, if you could speak to one man or boy listening right now who's silently struggling, what message would you give them?
All right, thank you so much. So to that particular man or that young man who is struggling with mental health condition, I just want to assure you that it is okay to feel that way, but just know silence is safe, but it comes with heavy burdens. So it is high time you need to talk about your emotion. You need to express them. And you expressing them doesn't mean you're weak. It truly means you are a human being. Your heart is beating. You are still alive, and that's why you are seeking for those kind of necessary support that you want when it's come to how to navigate your mental health journey. Because at a man must cry, we say, for like if we truly want to see like men coming out, boys coming out, first of all, we need to create or give them safe spaces to express their emotion and and make sure like the mental health support that we are offering or intervention are very accessible, affordable, and are of good quality, and also like that encouragement from the family members and the communities. If we have all these packed together, we'll end up reducing stigma around men's mental health. We'll also have like low rate of, I'll say, substance abuse, depression, and suicidal among men, and will witness or see the stronger community and family bonds moving together. So let's learn to embrace vulnerability moving forward because it is not a weakness, it is a sign of strength. And strength means you are human being and you have freedom to fully feel you are human being. And that's why you need to you don't need to deny your feeling. You need to accept them after admitting, yes, I'm truly struggling. What else? What else is now the right channels where to get help? And we are here as a Man Must Guy also to help you navigate your mental health journey moving forward. And we're just looking forward to, on board as many members or ambassadors who want to work with us to scale up this movement in their countries, in their communities. Just feel free to drop us a line on our social media pages at a Man Must Cry Mental Health Movement. That's on LinkedIn, on Facebook at a Man Must Cry Mental Health Movement, on TikTok as well as a Man Must Cry Mental Health Movement, so that we can, join effort towards shaping the future of mental health
Mm.
globally.
Are you on Facebook as well?
Yes, yes, I'm on Facebook as well.
Yeah. Okay. Just gonna put this all together. So, James, powerful, powerful. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing not just your story, but your heart. Your honesty and courage remind us that strength isn't found in silence. It's found in truth, vulnerability, and the want and willingness to heal. so you can help others. To our listeners today, it's a conversation's touched you. Please share it with somebody. Please contact James as the man that I'm sorry, Man Must Cry on his social media, TikTok, Facebook, and link it. James is from Kenya, and his heart is to help men realize it's okay to have emotions. It's okay to struggle with mental health. And it takes a man to cry. It takes a boy to cry. And, we're all there. We'll support each other in making this mental health movement powerful. If anybody wants to come on board with James, please contact him. James, could you give your contact details again, please?
All right, thank you for the opportunity to share my contact. Is +254 792967942 at email at amanmustcry@gmail.com. So just drop us a line, drop us a comment, and drop us a request on how best we can work together toward the scalability of this movement here in Kenya, Africa, and globally.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much, James. And we look forward to seeing your, how you develop in your projects. It's amazing, and we can learn. Each one teach one. We all learn from one another, and I just respect to you. Keep on doing what you're doing. It's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
All right, thank you so much, and have a lovely
Thank
day
you.
ahead. And looking forward to us sharing more.
Yeah, definitely. Take care.
All right, bye. Take care
Bye
too.
bye.
Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much. Bye bye.